In this video, we are going to see how we can install a ceiling fan. So when we buy a ceiling fan, we'll get all these parts. So we'll get a motor, one rod, two canopies, three wings, and a set of nuts, bolts, and clamp. So first of all, we need to join all these parts. So first we'll take the rod. So we need a meter of wire. So two wires. So we need to insert these two wires into this rod. So we'll have on the top we'll have two holes and the bottom we'll have two holes. So from the second hole from the top we need to insert these two wires and we'll need to take it out from the bottom, again from the bottom also from the second hole, second R-par hole. Okay, so yeah, this is the second R-par hole. We need to take it from that hole. So first of all we need to insert the canopies and then pull this wire from the bottom. So there are two canopies. So one goes at the bottom and one goes at the top. So this rod, we need to insert these canopies. So for inserting, first unscrew the screw which is provided to tighten the canopy. Loosen the screws which are there for the canopy, for both the canopies. And after loosening those screws, we need to insert those canopies into this rod. So one goes on the top, one goes on the bottom. Okay, so there will be the brand name printed on these canopies. So we need to see that those brand names are straight. So this one goes at the top, the other one goes at the bottom. Okay, so identify which part of the rod should be in the bottom. Is like at the bottom there will be a cut in the rod actually. So that goes at the bottom. So rod in between there will be a cut. Okay, we need to see that. So now, okay, now this is set up. Now we need to take the motor, actual fan motor. So take the motor out of the polythene bag. So put it on that some support. So now we need to insert the bottom of the rod into this motor as shown in the video. Okay, so there will be a small screw. We need to take out that screw first and then put this rod into that rod of the motor. So there will be a small screw and the other holes are for putting the nut and bolt. Okay, so we need to see that these holes are in line. So first we can put that small screw so that it will be easy to put the nut and bolts. So take out the one set of the nut and bolts. So that is the clamp that goes on the top. So this nut and bolt set goes at the bottom. Okay, there will be a safety pin. First of all, pull that safety pin out. Pull that safety pin out and then unscrew the bolts. Unscrew those two nuts given to the bolt. So remove those two nuts and there will be one washer also. So remove them. So insert that bolt into that rod actually, into the holes of that rod. Okay, from the bottom the first R-par hole. Okay, so insert bolt and then put the washer and put the first nut. So screw in that nut. So we need to ensure that those nuts are tightened properly. Okay, so we need to use a plier or a spanner to tighten those nut bolts properly. So that nut bolt should be properly tightened. So we need to hold the bolt from one side and then tighten the nut from the other side. So put in the other nut also, which is provided with the set. So tighten that nut also as much as possible. So again use a plier and a spanner. So if you use spanner, it will be easy to tighten those nuts. Okay, so once those are tight enough, put the safety pin which is provided. That is very important. Okay, so put that safety pin in the hole which is there on the other side of the bolt. Then open the safety pin on the other side. Just pull that safety pin so that it will not come out of that hole. Okay, so with this actually that the bottom fitting, we need to the wire in the two wires to the motor. So there will be small two screws which you need to unscrew them slowly. So put this one wire on the bottom top and one wire at the bottom holes and then tighten those screws. Okay, this is the connection to the motor. So other side of the wires will go into the roof ceiling rows which would be there on the roof actually. So we need to connect those two wires to the ceiling. Two wires. Okay, so first wire is connected and second wire we are connecting. So ensure that it is tight enough so that wires will not come out. So once that is tightened actually you can down the bottom canopy. Yeah, now they are tightened. Okay, two wires are tightened. One will be the phase and the other will be the neutral. Okay, so once that is done, so bottom setting is over, we can connect the wings. So for connecting the wings actually there will be three wings. For each wing there will be two screws given. So we need to first unscrew those, take out those two screws. So one screw is taken out, other screw is taken out. Okay, so when those two screws are taken out, pull that wing properly so that the holes will match. So ensure that both the screws are intact and tightened properly. Okay, using the screwdriver we can tighten those screws properly. So one wing is tightened. So similarly we need to tighten the other two wings. So unscrew the other two screws. So each wing will have two screws. So remove the screws. So put the wing so that the holes match, and put the two screws. So properly tighten to the full extent. So second wing is done. So take the third wing, remove the two screws. Only two screws. There will be one more screw, that is motor to be intact. Actually, do not touch that screw in the middle. So only these two screws. Is the wing properly so that holes match. Put the screws. Tighten the screws. Okay, so all the three wings are fitted. So now we can down that canopy, bottom canopy. Just keep a small gap between the motor and the canopy so that the motor does not touch when it rotates. Small gap, and then tighten the screw of the bottom canopy so that it will not move. Now we need to take the clamp set actually. So that clamp set, one side of the clamp goes to the rod and the other side goes to the hook of the ceiling actually. So we can do this in two ways. First we can tighten the one side of the clamp to the fan rod first and then tighten the other side to the hook, or you can tighten the top one where rubber is there first and then tighten the bottom one to the fan rod, whichever is convenient to you. Here actually the bottom is connected to the rod with the nut bolts and top is like open now, so we need to take it to the ceiling and fit the top one. So the ceiling rod will come in between the rubber, as you can see my finger actually. So once that it put inside the ceiling rod, we can tighten the nut bolts of the top. Okay, so same as what we have done the bottom actually. Nut bolts we need to tighten properly and the pin also need to be put. So once that is done, now we need to connect the two wires. Two yellow wires need to be connected to the two wires coming from the ceiling. So here one red and black is connected to both the yellow wires, okay, and taped it properly. So once that is done, we can pull the canopy under the top and screw the canopy. So that is it actually. So we are done with the setting of the fan, and fan is also fitted to the ceiling. Now we can switch on the fan. Now fan is rotating. Okay, thanks for watching.